business owners here tap into all over the country and all over North America, tap into markets with social media, strategic social media content creation.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me today on another episode of the Marketing Wizards Inner Circle. I have something really special for you today. Really special. Now, social media is a big part of building your brand and doing your marketing online these days with your company. That is old news. It's old news. That is ancient news, right? That is old news. You know that fact. But how to do it really, really well is why today is so special. So I have the luxury, I have the privilege, I have the honor of introducing a social media maven, a mastermind of social media. She is an absolute genius when it comes to building your brand in Facebook and Instagram. And she is going to share with you some incredible wisdom today in this particular Marketing Wizards Inner Circle episode. I am so pleased to introduce the amazing Brianna Maribel, all the way from Ontario, Canada. Brianna, good morning to you.
How are you this morning? Hello. Oh my God, that intro was fantastic. I didn't even get a good intro like that at my wedding. So thank you.
Oh, I wasn't
invited. You have an MC
That's
career
why.
in your future.
Oh, Brianna, it is so awesome to have you on the show. Thank you so much for being here. I was a bit of a making in the works, you guys. Last week, my Zoom went nuts. It totally lost its mind and would not work, so we couldn't do our show last week. But this week, we are here, and I'm not moving like this. Like I'm actually moving normally.
We don't need to have a robot, but...
Exactly. So, Brianna, you are going to introduce us into your powerful and inspiring content creation system today. So For those of you who are building out your businesses, please pay attention throughout today as we're going to drop some seriously amazing stuff. Plus, near the end, Brianna's going to give you an awesome resource. So this incredible resource to grab onto that you can use in your business starting today, starting just after this video, the video. You can go and grab that. But Brianna, walk us through a little bit about what your perspective on the power of social media is. As somebody who builds this every day, why do you think it's so critical and valuable for a business owner to do it?
Because you can tap into markets that are the world away from you, across the world. I live on an island. I live in a town that the population is 900 people.
Beg your pardon?
900.
There's still towns that small in North America? What are you talking about?
Yeah, and I've had business owners here tap into all over the country and all over North America, tap into markets with social media, strategic social media content creation.
Phenomenal. So you're talking about just the fact that there's an incredible reach, obviously, with the power of social media. And no matter where you are, even in a town of 900 on little Manitoulin Island, you can reach incredible results.
Yeah, absolutely. You can, everyone wants to generate sales in their business at the end of the day. That's the big goal. But through social media, you can develop relationships that will eventually develop into sales or turn into sales. So
powerful. And you and I are both in the marketing space. And so we know that really in the end, people buy based on trust. They believe that whatever solution you're providing them for whatever challenge you're facing, they're going to be able to provide that solution. So building relationship, aka trust, through social media is a very, very powerful aspect of what it is that you do for companies. So walk us through a little bit, Brianna, just the idea of give us a little teaser here as to what it is your system kind of entails and what it talks about. It does.
Well, it's a step-by-step system that you can use. So when you sit down at your desk, or you're sitting there with your phone, and you're like, I have no idea what I'm going to post about. How many times as business owners have we done this? We know we need to create content. We know we need to put ourselves out there and make a post. But sometimes just having a clear roadmap of the steps to take makes all the difference. Not just in creating content, but in doing anything, really. If you don't know the steps, how are you going to get to where you want to go?
That's so important, because I think the thing that holds so many people back isn't fear. It's confusion. Right? The lack of clarity. Like, I actually don't know how to solve this problem or how to do this thing. It's like, I don't know. This is so silly, but I don't know how to take the battery pack section off of the lock at the front of my door. It's got a critical battery level that keeps coming at me all the time right now. It's been like 2 weeks. And I've looked at it and I'm like, I don't know how to get this sucker apart. And it's because it's very confusing for some reason. TELUS made it really hard. So I don't know how to get it apart. So why am I not changing this critical battery level of a lock on my front door? I'm confused, right?
Yeah, I can relate. I have pictures in my office that I've purchased, like I purchased off Amazon, that I've been wanting to put up for 3 months. Why have I not put them up? I don't know how to change the drill bit out of a drill.
Yes, exactly.
I'm sorry, and it's not because I'm a woman. So
totally true. This is, but and so your system solves that problem for people when it comes to not only content creation but inspiration, right? Like how to. Okay, this is what I'd love to get across, but I'm not sure how to do that. And your system kind of walks them through how to get there, right?
Totally, absolutely. There's 4, 5-ish steps on the roadmap. I put 5 steps just to make it even more clear. But there's steps that anyone can do, really. Like the biggest thing with marketing or with social media is staying consistent. And if you don't know the steps, if it's just painful and clunky and not fun, you're not going to stay consistent with it. So if we can get you in the habit of doing the steps, creating your posts, and then rinsing and repeating every week or every month whenever you want to schedule your content, that's really the key to growth, success, and ultimately more sales.
Phenomenal. So why is consistency so critical then?
Few reasons. If people follow you, they want to see your content. They've taken the next step. They're like, I like you. I want to see more about you. So if you just ghost them, like that's like if you meet a friend and you hit it off or go on a date, for example, and then you don't hear from them for a week or two, they're like, oh, okay. And then they'll find someone else to fill that void.
Right.
Or, I mean, I could say the algorithm too. I don't like blaming social media things on the algorithm because then that takes the control away from us as business owners. But the algorithm does factor into it. But mostly you want to stay consistent because you don't want to ghost people that have already said like, hey, I want to see more from you.
I think that's such an important recognition for a lot of people that are either marketing for their companies or they are or they own the business and they're watching this right now and they're trying to figure out how to market their company more effectively. That consistency builds, once again, trust, right? Like it builds this thing. And we don't think about the fact that, oh man, I've been posting to Facebook, every 3 days for the last 2 months. Gosh, I'm just tired of doing it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not seeing any results. I'm not seeing results. I'm sure you've heard that before, right? I'm not going to do it for the next 2 weeks. Well, the potential results that you could have had this week or the next week are now definitely gone because those people that were like, I'm really coming close to a decision. I really like the way Brianna is presenting this material. I think I'm ready. Oh, where did she go?
Yeah.
I was going to commit.
And then they're like,
right?
You've lost a lot of trust. So like, is she a reliable service provider? Or is she going to go like that? Just, all it spirals basically. But it's also like losing weight, because it's such a good example for so many things. But
and you're a fitness expert, Brianna. Like that's.
If you don't, continue on with the program. Like you've got to do a program for a good 3 months before people are like, hey, you look different. What are you doing? Same with social media. You got to stick it out for a few months before you can actually look back in the content and say, holy cow, I got 2,000 views on this reel, or holy cow, I got 2 new clients because I've been putting in the reps. So
I love it. Love it. Okay. Now you have had dozens of ecstatic clients, Brianna, that absolutely love working with you. But it wasn't always this way. So for those people who are like, oh, Brianna was just blessed with knowing this stuff. Oh, that was not the case. Like you because your system is one that you had to carve into existence. Like you've shared your story with me and I'm going to give you a chance to share it with the audience here. But for those people that just think that, this stuff just kind of happens and everything that's not the way this worked out whatsoever, right? In your particular case, you really had to carve this system into existence. And because this was a beast in your way because you were handed this sort of job opportunity or this situation. Yes. They were like, okay, solve this problem. So walk us through where you landed, Brianna, and what sort of steps you started to take to get out of there. Because I think a lot of people watching this are also facing a circumstance of going, I've been given a task or I'm taking on the task of building out my content machine and building out my social media presence, but I don't know what to do here. And that's exactly where you were, right?
Yeah, absolutely. any kind of entrepreneur, you start a business because you're good at something, you're passionate about it, you want to help people with it, but you don't realize all the other hats that come with starting a business. You got to do bookkeeping, you got to do management, like manage your team, you have to hire, and all this 100 different things you have to do. And marketing can be such a doozy because a lot of people are like, I'm not techie, I don't get this stuff, I don't like computers. And I was not techie in the beginning. I went to school for biomedical biology, and I ended up as a digital marketer. And that just happened. I when I graduated from my undergrad, I really got into fitness. I had a huge passion for fitness, and I wanted to coach people and help people lose weight. So then I had to, again, put the hat on of marketer and, okay, how do I do this? So I started developing those skills. I ended up getting a job at a fitness clothing company in Southern Ontario. And it was a startup, and I was just thrust in the position of like, this is your dream job. You get to work with professional athletes as influencers. Figure out how to market us. Here's an account with 13,000 followers. Figure out how to sell leggings.
Oh, really? So it was just like, okay, we've got influencers that are wearing our stuff. You have to figure out how to monetize this.
Yeah, we're paying them hundreds, if not thousands of dollars a month. You have to get the most out of them and sell leggings to do that. So,
okay.
But I loved that job. Like, I got to meet my fitness idols like Paige Hathaway, Logan Franklin, like these people with millions, if not hundreds of thousands of followers. I got to do photo shoots and stuff with. So it was absolutely incredible. But with that came just this struggle of I'd go into work and I'd be sitting down and I'd literally think, okay, what am I going to post today? And, this is my like so much money and value on the line, and I didn't want to lose my job. So I realized my biggest obstacle was overcoming the procrastination of actually creating the content. I would check emails, I would converse with athletes, converse with coworkers. I would do everything but create content because I didn't have a system for it.
Sure.
So finally realizing like, no, I can't work like this. I love what I do, but I'm stressed out all the time. I'm like, hey, when I create a good post, when it just flows, what are the steps that I'm taking? So the first thing that I'm doing is I'm sitting down with my boss and saying, okay, what are our promotions? What are the holidays that we want to sell for? What's going on here?
Sure.
And then I'd make content pillars. Do I want to post about a new pair of leggings? Do I want to post a workout tip? Do I want to post a diet tip? Any kind of valuable content that our followers are going to want to see. And then create the images and the copy, so planning photo shoots, and then writing the captions for them, and then scheduling it all. So that's the system, and those are the steps that I was taking to take this account from 13,000 followers to it had 50,000 followers by the time that I left in 2 years.
Phenomenal. And so that that structure is one that gave you the license to go play. Like it gave you the license to go and create and get energized because you had a focus, right?
Yeah, I was spending so much less time on sitting down and having the anxiety of like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I don't know. I don't have a plan. Taking the stress out of those negative thoughts into just being able to invest that time into actually planning more productive photo shoots or making more connections with influencers. Like just, I could do so many other things in my role that needed attention instead of wasting time on stuff that wasn't moving the needle forward for the business.
Phenomenal. So when you started to put together the pieces of this, right? Because this was the beast that was in the room, right? Is you have this goal of selling more leggings and growing the following, but how to go about doing it. When you started to put those pieces into place, how did it make you feel, Brianna?
Oh my God. It made a world of a difference. I felt confident in my role again. My boss recognized that I was doing making better numbers for the business, or that I was just being more valuable to him. It was just a huge weight lifted off my shoulders.
Interesting. Okay. That's so when you're talking then with a business owner, right? It sounds to me like one of the biggest challenges that you solve for them then is this challenge of both time and focus.
Yeah.
Right. It's because I think a lot of us as entrepreneurs, we have ideas, but it's a matter of putting them into a framework that brings that idea into reality. And that's the thing that we're lacking, right? Like that's the thing that's missing so often. So when you found this framework and started to use it, you were using it for obviously this other business. What drove you to then go into business for yourself?
That's a great question. So I just ended up not enjoying working there. The management had made some decisions that I didn't agree with, and I was the other thing too. I grew up on Manitoulin Island. I was living in Southern Ontario. I'd only get to see my family twice a year, and I just missed being closer to home. I missed my family, so I just felt like a good time to shift and try to take this do this as a freelancer on my own, because I felt like, okay, I'm working for one business, but I need to fill my time with stuff. Like I feel like I could do this for other people or help other people with this. I don't need just one client. So anyways, I'm like, okay, I could do this, and went out on my own, moved back home. I actually started my own business, and it was a coffee roasting business.
Oh, okay.
It's still on the go. It's more of a passion project now. But I came back here. I linked up with a coffee roaster, started a Manitoulin coffee company where we sell coffee beans. And then I grew that to a certain amount. And then I'm like, no, okay. So my marketing strategy clearly works. Like I've built a business and marketed it, got it to a great point. I'm like, now I think I can start approaching other businesses and helping them grow to, beyond the local limitations here.
Oh my goodness, Brianna, that is so important. What you just said is so critical. The amount of people I run into that are in the marketing space, between you, me, and all the other people watching this right now, the amount of people I run into that are in the marketing space or the business consulting space, and they've never built a business before, it drives me crazy. Like I think to myself, what the heck are you doing here? You've got no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, and they can't relate to their clients either. A lot of the times they don't understand their problems. They might say, well, okay, I need you to record 5 videos for me in 2 days, and then I'll edit them and I'll post them for you. And like, if you're busy, I don't have time to record content for you. That's why I'm paying you.
Correct. And ultimately it's like 5 videos of what? Of what am I shooting? Right? Like my shoes? Like what the heck am I supposed to film? Right? Because I've got a business to run. I've got people to hire. I've got teams to manage. I've got clients to exactly.
Yeah, it helps you understand too your pricing framework. You can understand, I can't go and ask a business to pay me $10,000 because as a small business, that's just not feasible. And then with a team of me, myself, and I don't feel like I can demand that kind of money, but you understand where your client's coming from. And that's a key part in marketing actually, is understanding the issues of your target audience and understanding their problems.
Absolutely. And this is one of the things that I think is so wonderful about what you do, Brianna, and what you bring to the table is that you not only have the skills to execute on what you're promising, you've got the wisdom and the experience to know that what you're doing is based on reality. It's based on what's possible because you've done it. You've experienced it, you've done it, right? In building my own small businesses, it's a trial and error process to then develop the skill set to wind up succeeding. You don't succeed by accident, but you succeed through trial and tribulation. Like you iterate your way to wherever you get to. And the fact that, you and I both built successful small businesses and can now move on to helping other small businesses accomplish what they want is the fact we bring all that wisdom to the table. We bring that aforementioned, education, hard life education to what's going on. And I think that's a really important part of why you are successful. So let me go then to the fact that if you are recommending to a company, right, how often to use social media, what would you give as your recommendation? Like how many times should I be posting to my social media pages? Like let's just say I've got an Instagram or I've got a Facebook group or I've got a Facebook group, and I'm trying to massage that Facebook group to build a community around it. How often should I be posting to the Facebook group?
I'm so glad you asked this because I get this question all the time. It's one of the more popular questions people ask me. But there are a couple things here to consider. The first one, I want you to honestly consider how much time do I have and what can I commit to long term?
Right.
I could tell you, like Gary Vee tells everyone, you need to post on TikTok 4 times a day. That's if you want to grow on TikTok. But that's also if the second thing to consider is if your audience, like what platform is your audience on, or how frequently are they on there?
Yep.
So if you can't commit to posting 4 times a day on TikTok, don't just start small and work your way up. Myself, I only post on my Instagram twice a week, usually. That's just what I can commit to. That works for my business. That works for me. And that's also how frequently I get inspired to do content. So it's very much so about what you can commit to, and also consider first of all, what platform, is your audience on? Are they on TikTok? Are they on YouTube? Are they on Facebook? Where can you find them? But yeah, how many times they're on there? What time are they on there? Like if you're marketing to stay-at-home moms, I wouldn't necessarily post at 5 o'clock at night, because chances are they're busy with their family getting dinner ready, or sitting down for dinner. So it's keeping in mind your audience as well.
So would you say that that's probably one of the most important elements, Brianna, is just knowing your audience, like knowing who they are, knowing who you serve? Because I mean, you and I both being in the marketing space. Sorry, my phone's ringing off the hook here, and
that's okay. It's a good problem to
have. Yeah. Being in the marketing space, right? I hear this question all the time. I can sell to anybody. Like anyone is my client, and I always say to them, sure, anyone could buy from you, but you can't market to everyone.
Yeah. So if you're speaking to everyone, you're really speaking to no one.
Yeah.
That's not my words. I found that online somewhere. I'm not sure whose it is, but it's the truth.
Own it. It is the truth, right? So when you're working with a client, how wide do you let their client avatar be? Like, do you give them a specific range of demographic and of age range, or do you like them to frame it up pretty tightly? How do you like to work that?
That's a good question. Usually I like to have I don't want to say a looser gauge, but we'll tell like certain age range, geographical range, what are their pain points. And then through that we'll find specific calls to actions to use. For example, I have a client right now. She creates meal prepped meals. So you order your meals in advance, you take them home, and you just heat them up throughout the week. So we were like, okay, who's going to buy these meals? We're in our local area. We're a huge hockey community here. So hockey season is starting. Moms don't have time to cook dinner at night. So in our copy, we want to say, hey, hockey season's kicking off, and are you freaking out about how are you going to cook dinner? Yeah. If so, click the link below, check out our new menu, and place your order.
Perfect. Right?
Yeah. So within that, we'll have a looser gauge. And then we'll look back at the data, and that's a really important part of marketing too, is to see what's actually working. And then we'll continue with the content that is producing results, getting more engagement, stuff like that. So we tighten it up as we go.
I love it. I think that's a thing that's really important, that has shifted in the marketing space over the last 15 years, is our marketing is driven more towards problem solving now than it's ever been before, instead of demographics. Like you used to do, I'm going to post these, we're going to make ads on TV or the radio, and they're going to play during these specific times of the day, because that's when, as you said, stay-at-home moms are watching television, or that's when, people are listening to the hockey game, or whatever they're doing, right? Whereas today, I think it's far more pain point driven than it used to be. And it's not as much demographic driven as it was before, right? So I think that's something to remember when you're building out your marketing. Okay. So one of the questions I want to ask you, being a small town girl from Manitoulin Island, we've said this a number of times now, a city or a village, really, of 900.
Yeah, you can call it a village, actually. My mom lives in Kingwell, which is called a village, so yeah.
And I get it, because my wife's from Nova Scotia, and she comes from a town called Bridgetown, which has like 620 people living in it. I'm like,
okay.
So anyway, my point is, what do you think being from such a small town place has given you in the marketing space that gives you an edge?
Oh, I love this question. Okay, it's definitely, and I think my mom actually gave me this too. Definitely given me the skill of connecting with people and developing a relationship with them. And that's the best way that I've got my clients, is I've gone to local networking events here and in Sudbury, and just a lot of my clients come from people that I've met personally. Sure. But also I really care. Like, the convenience store that I've been going to my entire childhood, I want that business to stay afloat. Like I'm invested in my community and then stuff like that. And I take that with me to all of my clients because I see the impact that these businesses have, and it would break my heart if anything happened to it that it couldn't keep going. And I just want to see them do well.
Right. So that small town superpower for you is just this ability to deeply connect and give a damn about the results.
Totally. I'm not here. I mean, at the end of the day, I do want to pay my bills, but I'm not here to just make a ton of money. Like I really care about my clients because this is their lives too. Their businesses are their livelihoods.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that's one feedback that I get from a lot of my clients. It's like, I feel like you actually care, you're patient, and you listen to me. And that's a skill that my mother, she worked at the doctor's office here for like 20 years. And that's a skill that she's taught me, is like, you have to care about the people.
I love it. And that's, and you know what, when people are shopping around and they're looking for marketing advice, guidance, or just to hire on somebody to help them with their marketing, I'll be really frank. There's a lot of ways of finding that labor cheap. Like you can find inexpensive sources for helping you with your marketing, but chances are you're going to get what you pay for. And
totally,
and they might be,
you get what you pay for.
Exactly right. They're in some other country far away, offering you a service that they've systemized and they've templated out and structured out, and it might have very little to do with you or your success at all. And they're anyway, we digress. So anything you want to share with our audience, Brianna, before we kind of wrap things up for today? It's been fantastic. I hope people got tremendous value out of today. So
it has, and we've just been flowing. This conversation has just flowed so well.
Here we go. Anything you want to share with our audience here before we wrap things up?
Well, so I do have the freebie that you mentioned earlier. I'll just plug that right now. So if you go to briannamarybell.com/roadmap, you can even find it on briannamarybell.com.
And that'll be in the description below, everybody. That'll be in the description below in the YouTube.
Yes, I've got a free PDF that you can download. And honestly, like I print a lot of stuff. Any important documents I have printed out on my desk because I could have it on my phone, but let's be honest, if it's printed, I'm going to look at it. So I recommend you just print it out, tape it to your desk, stick it somewhere. So when you sit down to create your content, you're not like, okay, what am I going to post about today? You have your system, you have your step-by-step roadmap. And ultimately, this roadmap comes from a bigger program that I have. It's called Social Media Mastery, and it's a 12-week social media coaching program where I work with my clients to do Zoom calls like this. I'll train them how to use Instagram. I train them on how to come up with your brand pillars, all that great stuff. So you can actually learn these hands-on skills so you can do your marketing, or when you get the budget too, you want to hire someone to do your marketing, you can tell if the numbers they're producing are actually worth your investment.
I love that. That's so important, right? Knowing you don't always have to be skilled, my friends, at what exactly you want done, but you do have to know what the results are that you're looking for, right?
And I find a lot of people in my industry, unfortunately, don't provide they don't provide you data at the end of the month saying, okay, we got you this many views, we got you this many website visits. A lot of people are investing in these people and they just don't really know where their money goes. So if you know how to find that data and you know how to look at it objectively, you can make better decisions in your business overall.
I love it. I absolutely love it. As you just put it, Brianna, your marketing should be an investment into something that grows your future business, not an expense that you're just paying for, right? Out of pocket for the sake of having the expense. So I love that. I love it. So once again, if they want to find you, Brianna, the best place to find you is on your website.
Yes.
Right? Which is, one more time for us.
briannamarybell.com.
briannamarybell.com. Perfect. Okay. And they can obviously find you on LinkedIn, I'm guessing, and on Facebook. And on
Instagram. I'm active on Facebook and Instagram. LinkedIn, not as much. I'm there, but just kind of not active. But mostly I go on Facebook Live every Tuesday. I give like a 15-minute tip on, some new social media tips that I have, or just entrepreneurship tips in general. You can find me there as well.
Beautiful. And so, my friends, I hope you got tremendous value out of this. Brianna has built a multi-million-dollar brand using this content creation system. So get your hands on it, connect with her, unbox this for yourself so that you're never again faced with that, as Brianna put it, that terrible feeling of not knowing what to do, what to post, what to say, when to say it. And a lot of this is going to come from just using her system and mapping out exactly what you need to have the next steps. So I hope you got tremendous value today. If you did, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. YouTube loves that. So yes, hit those buttons for us. And once again, my friends, thank you for being so phenomenally fantastic and catching another episode of the Marketing Wizards Inner Circle. Go out there, enchant your audience, cast a spell, and create some incredible revenue for yourselves. Thanks so much, my friends. Ciao for now.